tonight. Husky Energy make their second court appearance after the 2016 oil spill into the North Saskatchewan River. And
hopefully build some bridges and partnerships throughout the community.
the city of Lloydminster celebrates Aboriginal Peoples Day. Plus,
it's unbelievable. It's very surreal. Like it's hard to believe it's happening at the time.
proud parents of Braden Holtby react to his Stanley Cup win.
This is Newcap News with Michaela Henshaw.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Husky Energy made its second court appearance this morning. The company is facing both provincial and federal charges as a result of the June 2016 oil spill into the North Saskatchewan River. The Crown and representative for Husky appeared in Lloydminster Court via phone, where both sides requested more time to review the case. Court was adjourned until September 13th. The energy giant is facing 10 charges and millions of dollars in fines after the Maidstone area spill saw 225,000 liters leak into the river, forcing multiple communities to shut off their water for nearly 2 months. National Aboriginal Day celebrations were held in the border city today, with First Nations, Métis, and Inuit cultures being shared with the community. The Lloydminster Native Friendship Centre hosted a celebration of all First Peoples in Canada, beginning with a tipi raising.
I was explaining the tipi from my ancestral understanding as a Cree, Plains Cree, and what was shared with me and how I approached our old people and trying to understand miigwech, which is a Cree term that talks about the tipi.
The afternoon featured drum groups, powwow dancers, and children's activities. Bonnie Start says they hope to share history and provide greater cultural understanding.
Being familiar with some of the traditions and ceremonies of the First Peoples and the Métis people of our country. Hopefully build some bridges and partnerships throughout the community.
And celebrations were held nationwide today. Alberta Health Services held a meeting at the Lloydminster Hospital on Wednesday to allow the public to speak to them about any concerns and talk about possible changes. The meeting included the Yellowhead Advisory Council to translate some public concerns to Alberta Health Services.
We host our meetings, there's 5 meetings a year. One of those meetings is a telehealth meeting where we're all in our home communities phoning in. The other meetings we host, we invite the public and we hold them in different communities throughout the health service area.
The 4 major topics that the Yellowhead East Advisory Council identified and brought to AHS is mental health, transportation doctors, and wait times for seniors or those with disabilities.
As a council came together and identified those priorities and sent them forward to the board. We also have a work plan in which we are looking at issues that relate to our Health Advisory Council.
The meeting went for 2 hours and also included presentations on what the city will do with the legalization of marijuana. Blooms for Healthcare is using the beauty of Mother Nature to help those living in healthcare facilities here in Lloydminster. Our Matthew Churchill has the story.
Blooms for Healthcare held an open house on Wednesday at Lloydminster Continuing Care to thank the community and sponsors for helping bring some extra color to the healthcare facilities. Knowing that when cutbacks happen, one of the first things to go is landscape maintenance, they make sure that residents still get to enjoy gardens in the summertime.
Going into the health facilities in Lloydminster, which is 5 facilities, and redoing the landscape. A lot of it had aged out and it needed to be renewed. And over probably the last 5-6 years, we've been able to do that.
Whitaker says that they plant everything from flowers to vegetables that can be used in a salad, like tomatoes and carrots. He also says that having the garden there helps remind the residents of home.
People my age and older, we grew up in a rural environment with agricultural backgrounds, and everyone, not everyone, but most people would have had a garden in their backyard, so they have that experience. And so that's where I see a lot of the older folks really getting engaged
we get the families, and we do get the residents that want to come out and they want to touch and they want to feel and they want to be part of the planting process. And it really is a great way to interact.
Although having these gardens may seem like something very simple, to the residents, it's priceless.
I would just like to say a special thank you to all those that are involved, from our sponsors to our volunteers that make this a reality. It changes the lives of the people that work here. It changes the lives of the residents that live here.
If you would like to get involved, you can contact Dawn Whitaker at Blooms for Healthcare. Matthew Churchill, Newcap News.
Well, with her trip to the dentist out of the way, Heidi Fiedler off to freshen up her look by trying out the latest fashion trends. Josh Ryan has part 3 of Mother's Day makeover in this week's Healthy Living.
Ladies here today are going to help me restyle my wardrobe after being pretty much on a mum wardrobe for the last 7 years.
She'll be looking at getting probably a new pair of pants, a nice top, or possibly a dress, whatever suits her body. Freshen up her wardrobe with something light and fresh, and just makes her feel good for the summer.
Pretty excited to experience the new fashions that are available today. I won this for my Mother's Day thing, so I'm allowed to wear this everywhere. The outfit I picked was a casual black t-shirt and a trendy pair of jeans that were high-waisted, and I picked it because I could easily wear it on any kind of occasion. I can wear it out day to day, or I can wear that by dressing it up a little bit on an evening out on the town. I did have another pair of pants picked out, and when I brought them home, when I tried them on, they just weren't quite me, where the jeans I really felt confident in.
She already picked our outfit out at J&B, so now we need to find some cool, comfortable shoes that go with her outfit. Because she's a mother of 3, I know she's going to be looking for something that's comfortable, but maybe it has a little bit of dress to it that can go with her outfit and some other ones.
It would just be nice to have a pair of shoes that's both casual and dressy, and that I can dress up or dress down, and that are very comfortable to wear for all occasions. Something with a little heel would be nice, but nothing really high, and something that's comfortable.
Shoes are actually a huge confidence booster in women, because the right outfit and the right piece can give you so much confidence when you're just going out and about, and your shoes always fit. So it's kind of like the piece that I think a lot of women tie their outfits together with. So that's the Michael Kors shoe. It has, it's actually a really popular shoe right now. So there's kind of a fashion trend where you're wearing casual shoes with like dressier clothes.
There's a lot of people who are wearing like the sneakers with what I would consider a dressier pant, and I mean, to me it just didn't match up.
They're weird.
The one she picked is Bueno. It's one of our most popular brands for women. The leathers are really amazing, really soft, they're really comfortable. All of their heel heights are really great. So she did pick a wedge that goes really nicely with her outfit, and it's really quite versatile. You can kind of wear it dressed up, you can wear it dressed down, like you can wear it with denim, you can wear it with skirts, pants, whatever. Plus, I know because I own a few pairs of them, you can walk for like a long period of time. If she has to run chasing after her children, they're really stable in the bottom.
What would be the best for her lifestyle and something that she's going to feel comfortable in that is fashion forward and with today's trends? It was awesome footwear choice again. I thought it was amazing.
That's kind of the fun part about fashion is finding different avenues that work for your body and where you feel comfortable. So I'm really glad she went with that. I thought she looked really great.
This is Newcap Sports.
Well, it's been more than 2 weeks since Tami and Greg Holtby watched their son Braden lift the Stanley Cup in Vegas. But as our Brendan Escott explains, the feeling hasn't worn off.
You go through so many memories of him playing as a kid and running around here pretending to lift the Stanley Cup, and then we got to see it.
Braden Holtby backstopped the Washington Capitals to their first ever Stanley Cup victory, posting a 15-7 record on the way. He grew up playing minor hockey in Lloydminster before making the jump to the WHL's Saskatoon Blades. Greg and Tami were in Vegas when the Capitals secured the cup in Game 5.
As soon as the third period came on and they scored and went ahead, it was like, wow, this is going to happen.
It's unbelievable. It's very surreal. Like it's hard to believe it's happening at the time.
Tami has earned a reputation over the past several years for her emotional reactions while watching her son play. This isn't anything new, however.
I didn't think I'd always been like that, but if you ask any of my family and friends, apparently I have. It's just so exciting for them, and especially when you get to the finals, it is emotional watching them. Their dreams are coming true.
She says that it wouldn't be any different if Braden played another position.
And lots of hockey moms come up and say, "Oh, I'm so glad my son isn't a goalie." But I've often said to hockey moms, I can't imagine watching my kid get hit so hard and, concussions and injuries like they do too.
Greg had the honor of coaching his son during his minor hockey days in Lashburn, something that has always bonded them together.
It's kind of funny because I was coaching with another fellow, Neil Reese from Lashburn, and one game he looked at me and says, "We're going to see that kid in the NHL someday." And I thought, really? This is Pee Wee in Paradise Hill. I don't think that's a long ways away. But
now Braden has achieved something few players ever accomplish, something nobody can take away from him or his family.
We've always said, do whatever you want to do, but do it as well as you can. You're not always going to be the best, but do the best that you can. And when you see them doing that, even if they lose a game, but that he played really hard, it's that sense of pride is pretty amazing.
Braden plans to bring the Stanley Cup to the Lloydminster area near the end of July. For Newcap News, I'm Brendan Escott.
Well, as the school year gets set to wrap up, area kids got a chance to visit the farm, and this week's agriculture report, Gerard Lampow, catches up with the kids as they scout the field.
You get to choose whether you want to plant wheat, peas, or canola.
Ag producer Keith Fournier opened his family farm to the classroom as grade 3s and 4s from Jack Camp got a front row seat to explore our food story.
I'm having a little bit of fun, but it's not too fun. I haven't caught any bugs yet.
These kids are on the hunt for the bugs that affect the crops.
So if you find some worms, like caterpillars, like tent caterpillars or anything, that's really good. Try putting them inside here.
Agronomist Clint Yerke was the resident bug guy as the kids scouted the canola fields.
I got a blue dragonfly.
A blue dragonfly?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's... Is a dragonfly a good bug or a bad bug?
A good bug.
Why are they good?
Eat mosquitoes.
They eat mosquitoes. Very good.
I have one.
Okay, Ethan, what did you catch?
I caught a fly and a flea beetle.
Yerke says canola producers are facing a lot of pressure this season from the baby canola threat.
The flea beetles are actually a little worse this year than what we've seen in previous years, and it probably has to do with our winter and just the number of canola crops that we have around for them to be munching on.
Yerke wants the kids to have an understanding of how bugs, the good ones like the pollinators and as well the bad ones that attack the crops, fit into the ecosystem.
And I found this real cool insect that it looked like it had 4 legs on the one side, 2 on the other side.
We have a pollinator here. This is a solitary bee species, so it's one of our good bugs to have.
All this adds to their study of plants and soils.
So in our curriculum, we go through and we learn about plants and soils, and so it's really great for them to be able to have this hands-on experience, great opportunity set through agriculture in the classroom and Keith, obviously, and they get to see where their food comes from.
With the growing season well on the way and producers out spraying, the hunt for bugs continues.
Oh, that's a big ant.
Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
Well, last week's 13-7 loss at home against Cold Lake ended the Extremes' 9-game win streak. Up until that point, they were the hottest team in the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League, but injuries have taken their toll. Entering Wednesday's match against the Vermilion Roar, the Extreme have 3 games left in their season, and the team needs to dig deep to reacquire its winning ways. A task easier said than done. Lance Phillips has more.
If there ever was a game the Extreme would like to forget, it was Wednesday's. It took 23 minutes for Lloydminster to score its first goal, the difference in an 8-6 loss to Vermilion. The overall effort lacked intensity, but the first period could only be described in one way.
Yeah, it was an absolute joke of an effort, to be honest. It's unacceptable, especially at home. You know, we had a great crowd again. You know, we have lots of sponsors in the community that pay good money for it to allow us to play, and to bring that effort is just it's unacceptable.
We kind of came out there, we were flat, and we were flat the whole game, and we didn't bounce back. We had lots of chances, but we couldn't bury them.
With 13 goals in their last 2 games, it seems the Extreme have lost their scoring touch, and it all comes down to what has quickly become their worst enemy.
Turnovers. It's always turnovers for us. It seems to be our kind of our kryptonite, I guess you could say. You know, when we're turning the ball over, it really demoralizes us, and you know, just it affects the back end. And you know, the defense works so hard to get that ball, and then we turn it over, and it really brings everybody down.
5 players missed Wednesday's game with injuries. Players that make a substantial difference on the score sheet, despite Murray's thoughts on the subject.
Well, we're missing key guys, but you know, we have bodies that definitely should be able to hold on to the ball and be able to make a quality pass.
It definitely shortens the bench also. It makes us more tired, and they also have that shot that we're missing, and just, I don't know, they're able to get open.
It's a little bit of that, but also a little bit we can play without those guys, so we can bounce back without them. We don't need those guys. We can do it ourselves. So we're a team here. We're not just a few certain guys.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.